So this one that you're seeing is mothership model. That is from Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie. That was built in 77. And this is how it looked. It came in the movie. It's not actual thing, but it. The mothership that you are looking at is model from movie Encounter of Third Kind by Columbia Pictures in 1977. Director and screenwriter Steven Spielberg, famous in Hollywood, envisioned the ship, and a team led by Gregory Jane made it from model train parts and other kits. When filmed with special photographic and lightning effect, the model appeared to be gigantic craft rising up from behind Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Rotating colored lights added to the effect. If you look closely, you can spot some details not seen in the film, including a Volkswagen bus, a submarine, R2-D2 android from Star Wars, US mailbox, an aircraft, and small symmetry plot enhancement added by the model makers and inside jokes. That could be reality very soon. Then humans will be building such kind of stuff in the space on other planets. This one is Saturn V launch vehicle, and this is used to launch. This model shows the location of Saturn V rocket's components, including the instrument unit, band between the Saturn's third stage and its payload. For missions to Moon, the payload consisted from the instrument unit up of lunar module encased within a protective conical covering the service module and the command module. At the top was launch escape system, used only in an emergency and jettisoned once the rocket had ascended safely off the launch pad. The instrument unit guided the three-stage rocket from the launch to Earth orbit and finally to transfer from Earth orbit to lunar trajectory. Once the astronauts were headed towards the moon, the Apollo guidance computer in the command module took over guidance and navigation function. This one that you're seeing is Mercury capsule 15B Freedom 7-2, and this is used. Mercury capsule 15B that you're looking at is one of the two left to protect them from re-entry heat. So there will be people inside, and it will at that time enter the earth and protect them, fall into ocean, then saved by the ships around that place. So it will have parachutes. This is alternative to airships. This is another one. Mercury capsule. (7) configuration that you're looking at is the part that was left while re-entry to the earth behind the heat shield. Frank Borman and James A. Lovell Jr. lifted off aboard Gemini 7 on December 4, 1965. Their primary mission was to show that humans could live in weightlessness for 14 days, an endurance record that stood until 1970. Their spacecraft also served as target vehicle for Gemini 6A, piloted by Walter M. Schirra Jr. and Thomas B. Stafford, who carried out the world's first space rendezvous on December 15. These two achievements were critical steps on roads to the moon. The configuration shown here is the only part of Gemini that returned to Earth. Behind the heat shield was an adapter section containing propellant for maneuvering thruster, fuel cells for electric power, and retro rockets to return to Earth. It was jettisoned before re-entry. The nose section was discarded during deployment of main parachute, and spacecraft landed on the ocean with the hatches facing up. Gemini TTV-1 paraglider capsule. At the start of Gemini program in 1961, NASA considered having the two astronaut Gemini capsule land on a runway after its return from space rather than parachute into the ocean. This controlled descent and landing was to be accomplished by deploying an inflatable paraglider wings. However, NASA later decided to stick with the proven technology of parachutes and water landings. North American Aviation built this full-scale piloted test tow vehicle to demonstrate the feasibility of paraglider landings. Even though NASA had terminated the contract in late 1963, it was the first of two TTV used to perfect maneuvering, control, and landing techniques. A helicopter released the TTV with its wing deployed over the dry lake Wade at Edward Air Force Base, California, where it landed.
This was not used actually, it was just built, and the only way to come back to Earth was to parachute and water landings with the capsules. This is the exploration rover to Mars.